There we go. Got the 2021 on the rack. There's a good reason for that. As you all know, I took it to the track last time and I was not super impressed with the car. So we got something to fix that. Let's go over here and check it out. This should solve a lot of the problems that we're having with this car, with it being very lazy out of the hole. So this is an FTI converter for a 10R80. This is something new that they're bringing to the market right here. So this is a 2800 stall, and we're gonna knock this thing out here pretty quick today, hopefully. So it shouldn't take too long to get this done. It's gonna be a lot of nuts and bolts in the process, but with that being said, we should be able to knock this thing out. So what will be the reason for wanting to put one of these converters in your car? Well, if it's a little lazy out of the hole, you know, you're trying to milk every little bit you can out of the 60 foot, the 1/8 mile, a quarter, whatever, a converter like this is gonna be great. I highly suggest, if you don't know what you're getting into, call FTI, talk to them and say, hey, this is, you know, this is what I plan on doing with my car. What converter do you recommend? They're gonna know your power level. So this is something new for the 10R80 world, and I think you guys are gonna like it a lot. With that being said, I have never taken out a 10R80, so I have no clue what I'm doing. I did watch some videos on it though. The biggest thing that I want you to know about this is not so much the install, but the results. First things first, all you gotta do is just pop this out of its little clip there. That's gonna be for your shifter. I'll pop that out. And then this little deal right here is not fun to get out. It's just a little white clip. There's a button on the top and a button on the bottom. There's a lot of little clips and things like that. So here's something that you're gonna need. You're gonna have to have one of these. Now I got this from O'Reilly. If you look around, you'll see that there's just clips everywhere here. Try to save some of these. Oh, look at that, we didn't break it. If you're doing this yourself, here's what I recommend with any of these jobs. Although I've never done it before on one of these transmissions, what I suggest is you absolutely take your time. You cannot be in a rush whenever you're doing something like this, because you will mess up, okay? There's a lot of little stuff in here that you're gonna need to take loose. So there's a black plug right there. And this thing comes out for access. All right, so this comes out, and then you can see the torque converter back there. That's where you're gonna take your torque converter bolts loose from here. You're gonna spin the engine over once you get the starter out, start doing that. Also, disconnect your battery cable as well. Go ahead and get that out of the way. Like I said, the main focus here is not how to do this, but more so the results from that new converter. Everything on these cars has been Loctited, which is awesome that Ford did that, but wow, does it make it like this hard to get off. Bump this thing back a little now. That exhaust is, I mean, right in the freaking way. I mean, it's barely past this. I could probably push it back up a little, but look at that. Jesus. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and try to remove this exhaust. Those nuts on that exhaust flange are extremely tight. I mean, as you can see, I went ahead and removed this cat over here. We don't want to let it down too quick because there's just all sorts of little clips and stuff in here that have to be taken out, or you're going to break something. So there was a guy said always reach back with your stock converter and kind of feel the depth of it. And remember that, because when you put your new converter in, you kind of know, you know, how much room you need back there, because these things have to lock in. And I'm just not that familiar with these transmissions, of course, so put my ring in my pocket. Let's see. Yeah, so I can get down to my fingernail basically past that ridge. So the bolts that are going to give you trouble is that bolt up there, that one right there that goes into the dowel pin, and really the manifold bolt, that top one. I'll make a little bit of a mess. That's okay. All right, so anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, draw some of this fluid out, and at least replace most of it. I ran up to my local O'Reilly's and found this. So this is a vacuum fluid pump extractor. They're not cheap. This thing was like 75 bucks, but I think this will work to go ahead and draw some of the fluid out of this. They say once it gets going, it should do its own thing and extract. I think that's a good enough flush, if you will, whatever you want to call it. So what we're going to do is go in, and if you guys don't know, this is what the transmission fluid should look like, but it's not going to look like this after pretty much any driving that you do. It doesn't take long before it starts to kind of darken up a little bit. I think the fluid that was in it was just fine, but err on the side of caution, these transmissions are not cheap. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put 6 quarts, because that's what this thing holds, first. We're going to fill the transmission up with that, and then we're going to come back in, put another 2 quarts, fill it back up. You know what burning transmission fluid smells like? Celery. It's a fact. There is a little marker over here on the side, and exactly 6 quarts. Look at that. We got 2 quarts left. We pulled out 8. Need to put the cap back on this thing before we make an absolute mess, or at least I hope. I don't even know if it'll fit in there. It doesn't really fit, but it's going. This is the Motorcraft ULV stuff. Bloop, bloop. So this is 6 quarts, fresh transmission fluid. That was a win in my opinion. If you guys want to pick one up, I got it from O'Reilly Auto Parts for like, I don't know, I have no clue, maybe 20 bucks at the most. Pouring oil into something, you can go ahead and put all of it in there and then know what you got. Or if you're pulling something out, extracting it, then you know what you're pulling out and you know what you need to add back. Awesome. Get out of my face, Aubrey. Good God, you're always up in my face. All right, we're gonna go ahead, slap the converter in. So we were short on transmission fluid. Berger's gonna go by, pick that up for us. But we do have 1 quart in the converter, which is all I'm gonna put it in anyway. We're gonna go ahead and lock this thing in. This is, I think I told you guys, this is like a 3200 stall, something like that. And we're probably gonna leak a little bit of fluid, I'm sure, but maybe not too bad. So these things lock in. You have to push and spin. There we go. Very, very nice. And that's it. So we're just waiting on transmission fluid at this point. This should go back pretty easily. We will see. What we hitting on? Come on now, talk to me. I'm gonna go ahead, finish getting this thing in. I'll catch you guys once it's all said and done. This is the first, well, I did start it up to check the transmission fluid level. With that being said, let's go ahead and go for our first drive. This is gonna be anywhere from 3,200 to 3,500. It depends on the weight of the car, the horsepower, the torque, the rear gear, the size of the tires. Everything really kind of dictates what your converter stall is gonna do. All right, so we'll get a couple of miles under our belt. The car may shift a little funny, so it may require a tune, but that's what we're here to find out. If you guys are wondering, so what's the deal with FTI? Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. Here's the deal. This is their very first 10R80 converter that they've released. We're testing it. So we get to bring this to market on our channel. You know, we're new to Coyotes, and I think it's cool that we get a new product that the Coyote world has not seen, or at least the 10R80 world has not seen. So go ahead and just kind of roll into it and see what the downshifts look like. Feels pretty normal. Give everything a chance to get nice and warm and lubed up, and then we'll start making us some hits. I will go ahead and switch it over to drag mode, because I have run sometimes on the car with the factory built-in drag stuff. So we're going to test that and see. I'll take a couple of pictures for you guys to show you what it ran before and then what it ran after. Then we're going to take it to the track to get a true time, a true test, if you will. So we're going to leave this thing in drive. I know it's not going to run as fast as time, but that's the way that I've been running it, okay? Wow, there we go. There we go. Yes, sir. We dropped 3 freaking tenths in the road. We just went an 8.5, and the last couple times I tested it was an 8.8. That's 3 freaking tenths of a second difference, y'all, on the first try. And as you could hear, it tried to spin when we left. There we go. Wow. 8.3. 8 freaking 3 in the road, y'all. That's 5 tenths faster in the road. Holy. Yep. Yep. That's a freaking win right there. All right, well, here's what I'll say as of right now. I don't really see a need for a tune as of this moment. I will get back with you guys on it and give you an update if the car, you know, needs a tune, like driving around town. But as of this moment, it feels great. The car dropped 5 tenths of a second into 1/8 of a mile in the road. We also will be taking it to the track, so I'll be able to prove that to you. The last time at the track, it ran an 8.2. I doubt it's going to drop 5 tenths at the track. I'd love to see 2 tenths, maybe 3 tenths at the track, but 2 tenths I will be happy with. I think that's worth the upgrade, okay? But with that being said, shout out to FTI for sending this thing over. I'm testing currently for them right now. I think you guys would really like this converter. It takes all that sluggishness out of it. They need to come with converters like this, because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really see a big difference in drivability. So, pretty cool. As a matter of fact, there's a cop right there, so thank God we didn't decide to make another hit. Appreciate you watching. I'll give you an update once we get to the track. All right, we're going to go ahead and test the stall speed of the car here with the new converter in it. So all I'm going to do is press the brake and bow the car up until it spins. It is in drag mode. As you can see, traction control is off. Everything's good. So let's see what we got here. So it looks like we can foot brake it to about 3. Let's see. So foot braking to about 3,000, 3,200 is freaking awesome, y'all. So this thing's gonna flash to probably 3,500. As you can see, no lights on the dash. These are all just everything that I've turned off. So just letting you guys know, no problems so far. The car drives like stock. So we are at North Florida Motorsport Park. And they're running a race tonight, but we're not involved in that. Obviously, we're just testing the tune. We got Papa T here with the 65. He drove all the way down here, about an hour. Well, really, right at about 2 hours for you, ultimately from my house. Memphis is with us. We're just gonna make probably 3 passes tonight, something like that, and see what this car does. Now, I know a lot of you guys who drag race all the time, you're gonna say, yeah, this is a different track. You're running at night now. I know that, I get it, guys. But here's what I will tell you, and you've seen it for a fact. I ran in the road on this thing and it went 888, and then I go back, I put the converter in it, and it literally went 830s. Probably not gonna get much footage on the outside of the car. It'll just be me inside, but the biggest thing you wanna know about is this converter worth it? And I'm gonna let you guys know that. So 794 at 90 mile an hour. 60 foot improved drastically to a 186 60 foot. Try it again in a minute. Woo, that felt good. That felt real good. Car seemed to leave a little harder. So, hell yeah. Maybe that was a 780, I don't know. Definitely the converter improved 60 foot tremendously. It's about 74 degrees right now, so, you know, that is working in our favor, but it is what it is, guys. There we go, guys, 789 at 91 mile an hour. So she picked up a little bit. No doubt, if I could play with this car a little more, I think we'd be good to go. Let's see if we can squeeze in one more run, and we'll go ahead and head out for the night. I'd like to have 3 passes, so we'll see if they'll let me run again. 4 hours, I think it was, for 3 runs. I paddle shifted at that time, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. So we'll look at the ticket and then we're gonna wrap this up. We'll go home and we'll talk about everything, okay? All right, guys, that didn't work out as good, but that was a 791. So pretty consistent 790, high 780. I'm good with that. I think once we learn the car a little bit better and learn how to leave on it, we're gonna be good to go. So I'm happy with that. Once again, we got our ticket swapped up, so I had to go correct that. Anyway, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. We'll see y'all at the house.